Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Derp Your Hooves. So, today I'm in the F-22 Raptor, and it's really a wonderful, beautiful plane. So, let's release the parking brake, and just kind of roll on out of here. So, it's a beautiful morning in Japan, using live weather. Oh, look at that. More throttle pounding. And it is a beautiful morning. I'm sure in Japan, it's a beautiful evening where I am. More airspeed, pony, or this plane's never going to get off the ground. Alright. So let's do that. Let's gear up. And there we have it. So there we are in our F-22 Raptor. Special Derp Your Hooves edition. And
Derp Y Delta Echo Romeo Papa minus Yankee, leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Someone's calling us on the radio. But it's not answering back.
Yokota Tower, Derp
There we
Y
go.
Delta Echo Romeo Papa, minus Yankee frequency change.
So, here we are in our F-22 Raptor. And I noticed this small problem. And I wanted to say, I'd love to say, that it's just maybe with one plane, but it's not. And some people might say, you know, I really don't care, because I don't fly military aircraft, so it doesn't really matter to me. They might say, well, maybe the problem is that Pony doesn't know what buttons to push. Well, see, that's not the problem. So the problem is, you know, I was having fun in, you know, one of these military-style fighter jets, like the F-22. And I tried it in an F-15, and the F-16, and the F-14. And so they're all made, well, F-22 and the F-15 and the F-14, well, they're made by different developers. You know, so at least between the F-22 and the F-15, so I'm flying around here, and I notice this. And I say, well, what is this? Right, and everyone says, well, Pony, because I put something out on the internet, you know, and, you know, very popular social media site, and I said, so why does that happen? So everyone said, well, you didn't cage your heads-up display. Well, see, I just caged it just now, and it's still off-center. Right? I mean, we started off, and it was perfectly square. They say, no, Pony. That's not what happened. You didn't cage it before flight, so now it'll never cage. Well, I would love to say that that would be the answer to the question. And I would love to say that the answer to the question would have been, just cage it. And you'd say, if you're flying along, well, this is really kind of disturbing. So, you know, I'm on my PC, and I'm flying along in my $35, $40 aircraft. And, you know, I say, well, I know, I'll hit the F key. Well, it centered the view, but it still didn't center the heads-up display. So you get a little frustrated, right? And you say, well, so I spent a lot of money on all these planes, and the sim is garbage, and I'm going to the other sim that will remain nameless in this video because Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 is garbage and it's full of problems. And, you know,
Altitude. Altitude.
I'm always repairing it, I'm always fixing it. Well, you know, sometimes in life, you get all geeky and you're like, hey, well, you know, so let's skip all that, right? Well, sometimes you have to learn how to do things yourself. So, you know, and then running off to another sim isn't necessarily the answer. But, I mean, if you know, want to go to another sim, no one can stop you. But you just say, see, well, this is the garbage that I'm talking about, right? And it's garbage, and this is garbage, and So, I said to myself, well, how do you fix it? And so someone said something that I had already kind of figured, which was, you know, just kind of hit your arrow keys until you center it, right? And that'll work. Well, yeah, I mean, assuming that I can get it centered, right? I can play with it forever. Oh, look, it's centered. Kind of. Right? I mean, I got it where I want it. And then I go off and I do it again. And it's kind of... Right? And it's got it centered. And I got it centered. And then let's kind of roll it out. And did you cage it? Did you cage it, Pony? Did you cage the heads-up display? And Pony's going to say, no. No, he didn't. As he does these acrobatics. Say, well, you just mess with the arrow keys and see that's what did it. Well, one would think, right? That would be the answer. And one would hope that would be the answer. But, will you look at that? There it is again. Right? I mean, you can see that the ladder on the HUD, it's off on the side. And why is it off on the side? So, should I sit there and should I play with the arrow keys again? As I climb to, I don't know, like, you think that we'll reach 30,000 feet before we stall? Oh, that's right. We were talking about the heads-up display and how to fix this small problem. You know, because it's kind of a small problem. Well, maybe switching the views from external view, you know, internal view, cockpit view, to external view will help, does it? No, that doesn't really help either. So you say, well, you know, gee, Wally. Oh, uh-oh. I hope that's not copyrighted. So I said, gee, Pony. What could be wrong? I don't know. Oh, look, we're at 55,000 feet. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Isn't it? You say, well, look, there it is. The HUD ladder is centered, isn't it? It's all centered and... No, it's not. And the whole HUD's off on the left, so we're going to hit the F key again. Nothing. Right. So, we could play with the arrow keys, but that's really not going to work. Because we're going to have to do this constantly. And again, we can hit the button for caged, and I can guarantee you I could waste more of your time today. And I could hit that button and hit caged, and I guarantee you that will have the same result. So we could just skip that altogether. So you'd say, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, so there is no solution. So, you know, that's why this sim's a garbage product. And, oh, wait. So, no, let's not go there. So on your keyboard, if you hold the left control key down and the number 0, not on the number pad, but on the row of numbers across the QWERTY keyboard, watch. So I can't show you my fingers, and I just hit Control 0, and there you go. And you say, but the HUD ladder still isn't caged. Okay. So let's cage that. Right now it's caged. So the HUD ladder's there, and so everything else is good, right? So you hit Control 0, right? You hit Control 0. Well, I thought F would work, right? I mean, you know, so let's just, you know, kind of do that, right? And I hit F, and see, it's still, I hit F and it's off on the side, so Control 0. Well, does that work? Well, I don't know. I mean, I've tested it out. I'm pretty sure it works. I mean, I don't know. Oh, but I'm pretty sure that I could stall this F-22 out. Well, I don't know. Does that work? It's really hard to say. Well, let's see. Does it work? I'm not so sure. Does it work? Does it work? I don't know. Really and honestly, I don't know. Actually, I do, and I'm just not telling you. So let's see. I think Control 0 and then caging the HUD ladder works pretty well. Now, learning how to fly the F-22 and not stall it out, I mean, that's something else altogether. So, just a little helpful tip for you guys. If, for some reason, you're flying one of your favorite fighter jets, and it doesn't have to be the F-22, because I don't want to say it's just a problem with the F-22. It's not.
Bingo.
Bingo. See? The sim agrees with me. Bingo, it is not a problem. That's not what bingo means, but I like to think that the sim agrees with me. So, the problem is not with the sim, and it's not with the F-22. It's not with the F-16, it's not with the F-14. You say, whoa, what is it? Well, I don't really know what it is, but I do know that the left control key and the 0 digit, that's going to solve your problem. And you might not believe me. And you may say, well, this problem doesn't even exist for me because I don't fly the fighters. Well, if you do, and this happens to you, just remember, I said Control 0, and sometimes you have to cage the HUD. But Control 0 will keep it right there, and I've run out of fuel. You know, I mean, I don't want to cheat. Wow, look, we're like super low. Think we're gonna make it? I don't know. It's quite a long flight. So, there you go. Answer the question. And if you want to stick around for the rest of the video, and you want to see, I mean, am I gonna make it? Because I don't really know. I don't have a whole lot of fuel. Doesn't look good. But there you go. So we're in the F-22 today, and ooh, that scares me. Right, that whole sonic boom as you pass by. So there you go. We're in the F-22, and if you're having problems with your HUD, you know, rolling off, or you're having like this weird HUD drift, it's really not the HUD, it's the position of the inside of the cockpit. I don't know why it does it, but again, Control 0, that's going to solve your problem. You know, and that'll center you right back up. So if you keep sliding off, Control 0 brings your pilot's head or whatever right back to dead center. And again, I mean, if there's anybody out there in the sim world who is experiencing this problem, I hope I solved it for you. I don't really know if I'm going to make it to Yokota. I might have to ditch my very expensive aircraft that the taxpayers paid for. Well, actually, Pony paid for this one. Taxpayers didn't pay for it. But in real life, they did. Like, if you ever watched that movie with the famous actor, there was 2 of them. But there was one in the 80s. Well, you know. With the real cocky pilot who his Rio officer gets killed in a flat spin. That should be enough hints, right? So anyhow, in that movie, right, remember, well, if you've seen the movie, there's this whole scene where, oh, it's the taxpayers' money that pay for that plane. Yeah, in real life. But in the sim world, you pay for the plane. So I guess it would be your own private Air Force, wouldn't it? Well, every pony, it looks like good news. It looks like I'm going to make it back to Yokota. Price of gas these days, I just can't afford to fuel up the jet anymore, go fly all these missions. So that's another fun thing that happens sometimes. And you're going to say, well, what was that? Well, I'm kind of glad that it happened. So sometimes when you hit the speed brake or you slow down really fast, in some of these fighters, it like sends your head all the way down. And the F button solves that. And you may not experience that in, say, maybe the Cessnas. Boy, but I really shouldn't be hitting this runway. This kind of knots. My gear should be down. Is my gear down? It is not. There we go. Landing gears are very important, everybody. Everybody, every pony, whatever. But landing gears are very important when they work. And I guess what was I at 300 something knots? So that's probably why they didn't deploy. Because the sim does that. It actually prevents you from deploying your landing gear at certain high speeds. And it does. You gotta forgive me, it's a really big party night today, even for people who don't observe the holiday. So if you hear screaming and shouting in the background, I guarantee you it's not because, of me. It's just today. So there we go, 160 knots, and this is Yokota. And let's just bring our F-22 in. I know. There we go. And that's it, everybody. Everybody and every pony, that is it. And that's how you solve that problem in the F-22. And it's how you're going to solve it in every other fighter aircraft that's in this sim on a PC. Just Control 0. Don't know why it does that, but there you go. So, happy holidays to everybody, and for me, I'm going to say Merry Christmas, and I hope that doesn't offend anybody, and if it does, well, it's my channel, so. Oh, and by the way, Happy Hanukkah, too. I forgot, Hanukkah is also going on right now. We just ran out of fuel. I offended somebody, because it shut off the plane. So there you go. Guess we could just roll to a stop, huh? As long as we get clear of the runway. If we get really lucky, we could just roll into parking. We might just make it. So, again, happy holidays, and I'm going to say Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah to anyone who celebrates any of those. And there you have it, and I'm going to say thank you for watching Derp Your Hooves. I'm sorry that we ran out of gas. And if you like what you saw today, feel free to, like, share, and subscribe. Because the truth is, it's really not a high percent of people that watch the videos that actually, like and subscribe. But if you like and subscribe, you'll probably get updates of when I release videos and stuff like that. And I really appreciate you guys, really value all my subscribers and just everybody who watches the videos. So, happy holidays. Thank you for watching Derp Your Hooves. and I look forward to seeing you guys in the skies.